Hello, I'm Al Levine. Welcome to my new show, Interviews with the Talking Machine. I've collaborated with Elaine Volpe from the library, and we're going to do an interview about a holiday book called Gift of Holiday Valley. And my friend wrote this book, and she's been on my show, and we're going to present that right now. Joanne Forrester, author. Once upon a time, there was a business consultant by the name of Joanne R. Forrester. She worked very hard for her small business clients, raised them lots of money, over $40 million, taught hundreds of classes, seminars, and workshops to thousands of clients and students. She won many awards for her accomplishments and helped her clients gain national recognition for their achievements, and even had her own podcast show, The Empress of Biz, Listen, Learn, Prosper. She was well known for her community activities and had helped many organizations that served women and children. But something was missing, and she was beginning to become bored and sad, very sad. She was tired of doing cost analysis, business plans, and having to joust with bankers to help her clients. She wanted some fun. She wanted to play and be happy. Then one day she woke up and felt inspired to sit down at her desk and figure out what else she could do besides serious business stuff. Well, she sat and wrote some more. And she discovered that she loved to write and had lots of stories in her head, many of them children's stories that had been waiting to be told for a long time. And the more she wrote, the stories, the happier she was. Joanne's first children's book, The Gift of Holiday Valley, is one that she has carried in her heart for a long time and now is being shared with you. Come and read about Holiday Valley, a special place where we'd all like to be, where no matter who you are, what you look like, or where you come from, you belong, and everyone wants to be your friend and help you. Although even in a perfect place like Holiday Valley, there are some new things to learn and different ways to be helpful and share the joy and happiness of everyone there. You can get her book on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com. You can even get a hold of Joanne Forrester, and she lives in the local area, and I hope you enjoy the show. Elaine Volpe is going to do the interview.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me. I'm Elaine Volpe from the Bethel Park Public Library. I'm thrilled to have a very special guest here with me today, Miss Joanne Forrester, who has written her very first book. It's entitled The Gift of Holiday Valley, and she's here to kind of share her story behind the book and tell us a little bit more about it. So welcome to the show.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm absolutely delighted.
Great. I'm always happy to have authors, especially local authors, on the show. My first question usually is your inspiration. What made you write the story? What was the idea behind it?
Well, the inspiration was desperation. Over 20 years ago, I have my own business. I'm a business consultant, and I've been in business over 30 years. And you hit one of those patches that all of a sudden something's gone wrong in your business. Mm-hmm. You haven't had business. I had had an accident, broken my ankle, and I had no money for Christmas.
I think everybody kind of hits that point, no matter what career you're in. At a certain point in your career, you hit that stage where you're kind of just like,
what do I do next?
What next? Yeah. Right.
So I went in the shower and was hiding and crying. So that's where one does. One cries in the shower where nobody else can
see you or hear you.
And I was just saying, Lord, what am I going to do? I have money for my son for Christmas, but I don't have anything else. And all of a sudden, this story just literally, I was like a lightning bolt almost, just came into my head. I rushed out of the shower, didn't even bother to dry, and I had long red hair at that time. And I'm sitting there for an hour just writing and writing. And then finally, it was out. And I thought, I got up and, I went and got dressed and everything. And I came back and I looked at it. And I read it, and I thought, this isn't bad. So I went and took and hand wrote it on parchment paper and gave it as gifts to my parents, to my son, to my relatives, to friends and family, and clients. And then I also made cookies and gave everybody cookies. And Rob was the only one that actually got a regular gift. And when I gave
Homemade
it,
gifts are the best kind of gifts, right?
and and to this day, everybody expects me to make them homemade gifts for Christmas. So this is good. So
once you start a tradition, it's hard to break.
yeah, and when I gave it to my mom, my dad had been very ill for a long time.
Okay.
He had multiple sclerosis, and for the last 20 years of his life, my mother just really devoted herself to taking care of him. But she was a very talented artist.
Mm-hmm.
And when she looked at the book, she looked at the parchment paper, and she said, someday I'm going to illustrate this for you. I like this. And it'll be our project. That never happened. And then Mom passed 2.5 years ago now. And I had even misplaced the story. I didn't even know where it was. It was always in the back of my head. But
So this was originally written years ago.
This was originally 3/4 of it written about 20 years ago.
Wow.
Over 25, really.
Okay.
And when I was going through my mother's papers, and she was in World War II, Depression era, she had everything. I found a box, or several boxes, with report cards and everything I'd ever given to her was there.
Aww.
And down there, in there, was this blue faded parchment paper, and I pulled it up, and here was the story. And it was called The Gift of Holiday Valley. And I picked it up, and I read it, and brought tears to my eyes, and then, oh, that's nice, she kept it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was working around the house trying to find more stuff, and then I went back to that, and I went, this isn't bad. So I took it home, and I left it sitting on my desk for a while. Never really touched it for almost like a couple months, because you're going through the process of
The grieving process and
Yeah.
organization,
Yeah.
getting her house in order and all that.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah. And then one day I sat down and I thought, well, this needs another part. And I sat down for a couple hours and I wrote the other part, the second part. And then I let it go again for a while. And then I went back and I edited it. And at that time in my regular business, I was doing some cost analysis for a small publishing house, Red Engine Press, here in the greater Pittsburgh area. Joyce Faulkner, who is a wonderful, not only owner of a publishing house, a great author. And I said to Joyce about the story. She says, well, let me see it. She says, and I'll tell you what to do, and we'll figure out where to send it. And she read it, and she says, I love it. She says, I'd like to illustrate it. I'd like to make it come to.
Sorry about that.
That's Mom saying hi.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, she goes. She likes it. And Joyce and I formed this relationship where we worked at bringing the story alive. And then
I love it. That's such a neat story. And it kind of just seems like it all felt, even though it was, years in the making, it kind of just all fell together. All the pieces came together.
Yes.
And I think that's what's so neat about it. And how do you feel now that it's in print and published and it's for sale?
Oh, I'm so excited. I am.
Do you feel like this is in a way a tribute to your mom, since she never got to illustrate the book?
No, and one thing about my mother, she was such a good artist, and as a child, you don't recognize that. Mm-hmm. Then when she passed, I had a bunch of drawings that she had done, and we had people coming and looking at stuff, you know how you do. And I had a guy who was he has a small eclectic store and gallery, and he says, he looked at my mom's drawings, he says, how much you want for them? I went, huh?
Wow.
I says, these drawings have to be over 60 years old. He says, how much do you want for them? And I said, well, I'm not going to sell them. Then I really heard a loud noise in the house. I'm serious. I was like, wrong, what? So I actually, and he paid me a very nice sum for the drawings.
Wow.
And I says, what are you going to do with them? He says, I'm going to frame them. And he came back and showed me. He framed them and put them up in his gallery. He will not sell them. But he says she was very talented, and if she had had a chance to really do what she did, she says, you'd have had a great artist.
Oh, how special.
So I sold them. I kept a few favorite ones, and so I think that she was just thrilled that finally her work was recognized.
Yes, and people are getting to enjoy it. That's wonderful.
And I think she would have adored Joyce. It just seems how that everything worked out, that we found the right pictures, we worked with it, we we brought the story alive about two children, Mary and Christmas, and their experience in the special Holiday Valley.
Yeah, without giving too much of the story away, can you give us a little synopsis about the book, or with the message at least behind it? Because I think it has a great message.
Thank you. Well, the story is about Holiday Valley, where it is hidden from the rest of the world. And they've chosen to do that because they've found that the rest of the world at this time is too dangerous for them. And one of the things that in Holiday Valley is many people, different colors, elves, non-elves, the animals talk. Everybody's there to help one another. And they have this wonderful place that we'd all like to be, you know. But they stay away from the outside world because they found that it's not so nice out here. One day these two children start to try to explore the outside world. And out of that, even though Holiday Valley is a very special place, they find that they were doing one thing wrong, and that what they were doing wrong was not sharing the gifts of Holiday Valley with the rest of the world. And that's what the story is about, how they learned that as wonderful as they have it there, the children of the rest of the world really needed the gifts of Holiday Valley.
So it's about sharing those special gifts, because we all have unique gifts. We all are able to give something to the community and bring something to this world. Yeah, and we need to share those gifts. I love it.
They shared the gifts of the trees and the Christmas wreaths and cookies and all kinds of ornaments that everybody makes. And it's just a short story of how they learned that lesson and how they have participated in making part of our traditions of our holidays.
I love it. I think that's great. What a wonderful message.
Thank you.
So where can our viewers get a copy of the book?
Well, of course, I'm so excited because we now are on Amazon, The Gift of Holiday Valley, and we are now on Barnes & Noble.
That is very exciting.
Yes, like when I found it out, I was like 10 feet tall. 50 people got a phone call.
Aww.
And The Gift of Holiday Valley is on Barnes & Noble, and you just put in The Gift of Holiday Valley, and it appears like magic.
Yes, like Christmas magic.
Yes, it is. It is.
Wonderful.
And I didn't think we'd get there, and even my publisher said, this is a coup. She was very, very excited.
Good for you. Well, congratulations on the book, and thank you for coming on the show and
sharing
it with our viewers. Again, everybody at home, if you want a copy of Joanne's Gift of the Holiday Valley, visit Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com. Pick up your book today. I'm sure they make great gifts.
They make wonderful gifts.
So now it's not too early to start shopping. The season is upon us.
And for anybody who is young at heart, buy one for yourself, buy for another friend, and give to a child.
Absolutely. Sounds good to me. Thank you again for joining us, everybody. Take care.
So you've got a song about where to call for government information?
Check this out. We got the benefits and services that'll make you smile to get the answers you need. Put us on speed dial.
That is gold, Your Honor.
1-800-FIT-INFO. Oh!
Where do you think you're going?
Is your body holding you back?
I want to go running. Not with that knee, you're not. I'm fine. Negative.
Your bones and joints can say no at any age.
With that shoulder, you're gonna pick up that truck. Really?
Keeping you from working, playing, or just plain moving.
That's not a picker up. What do you say?
Yet a lot of people who live with pain fight back.
Use your head. Save your back. My pride, my rules.
And regain their lives.
You gotta be kidding me.
Oh, I'm going running. I'm going running.
I got to see this. Come on, pick it up.
Fight for your mobility. Find your own inspiration at anationinmotion.org. A message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
I'll take it from